Our guests today on Caribbeana are two people, two very well-liked people. One is Joanne Spencer. She is the wife of Ambassador Anthony Phillips Spencer. And we also have Danelle Dickson, Dr. D. Um, Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Well, we're here to talk about women, about rap TT. First of all, rap TT, it's a method of eliminating violence against women um, roundtable that's coming up. But tell us, what is rap TT? Uh, Joanne, you can start.
Okay. Well, Rap TT, as you may be aware from before, is the Women's Roundtable Action Platform Trinidad and Tobago. That's what the Rap TT stands for. And it's an initiative that was started when Ambassador Philip Spencer was in the US to galvanize, organize, and mobilize women in the US who can really give back to Trinidad and Tobago. That was the beginning of RAPTT. So basically, RAPTT is an organization for women to give back to Trinidad, women who are, what do you call it, women on the rise, women who are resilient, invested, sincere, and empathetic. They know they really want to do stuff for women and girls in Trinidad and Tobago and the diaspora.
Right, right,
Okay, so that basically is RAPTT. And
right.
RAPTT operates under four pillars, I think it is. Danelle, it's the Dr. D, it's the education, mentorship, what else? The
Networking
networking
and access.
and access pillars. So RAPTT operates under four pillars.
Right, right. No, and it impacts the women, Trinidad and Tobago women throughout the entire diaspora.
Yes, so the objective is really to have the major impact is for Trinidad and Tobago, but we also impact women and girls in the diaspora. So we have done events and organized stuff for International Women's Day, for example, and some of those things can be impactful for women in the US and other parts of the diaspora.
Right,
So it's Trinidad and, well, not just Trinidad and Tobago women, but women and girls in general.
right, 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 right,
Mhm.
right. Dr. D, do you find it why a walk to commemorate this activity?
That's a great question. So I think it's important for us to, at this moment in time, specifically with the current political environment and the things that have been happening in the past couple of years, for us to put action towards the things that we care about and we want to draw attention to. And organizing a walk was a great way for RAPTT to bring to the attention of the public and the people that support this cause that we needed to start taking action. And it's a way for us to bring attention to the need for us to look at domestic violence in Trinidad and Tobago. A walk is very accessible, anyone can walk. And we made sure that we designed this event to make sure that it's accessible to everyone. So we have walks not only in Trinidad and Tobago at the Queen's Park Savannah, but we have 5 other locations throughout the US. We have Texas, we have DC, we have Florida, we have um, California and also New York City as well, right?
Right,
So to walk means that we are now putting action towards, yes, we support this cause. Yes, we are concerned about the domestic violence rates in Trinidad and Tobago and worldwide. And we want to make sure that we're drawing attention to this cause by bringing people together in a way that they can support this cause support the organizations that we support when we do give donations, and just made our voices be heard in terms of bringing attention to the situation.
Right, right. So how can people support the walk?
So you can support the walk by purchasing a t-shirt. There you can purchase a t-shirt online at our website, raptt.org. Or you can also go to several locations, J&K Signature Styles in Trinidad. There's one in Port of Spain, Trin City, and I think there's one other location, correct me if I'm
Grand Bazaar, in
and
Grand Bazaar.
right?
Grand
So you
Bazaar.
can purchase the t-shirt. It's just $100, very affordable. A portion of those proceeds will be donated to a halfway house called Mitzvah. If you're not able to walk and you're not able to purchase a t-shirt, we do ask that you give a donation because we are trying to raise those funds and give those donations to a worthy cause that we know are going to be really impactful in helping women that have suffered domestic violence concerns and issues.
Right. Any you want to add to that, Mrs. Spencer?
Yes, so Dr. D covered it more or less because yes, the t-shirts in Trinidad and Tobago cost 100 and they're available in Twin City Mall and Grand Bazaar J&K. And yes, Mispa House is a halfway house that's located in Trinidad and Tobago, and Mispa House is about supporting women who have been victims of violence, domestic violence, and in general too. Mispa House supports women and girls who may have a general need. It's like a transitioning house.
Mm-hmm.
So, coming out of certain situations, they may need a little, what you call, a leg up
Right, right.
to get going again. And Mispa House provides that type of service.
Right, right, right. But when I think of this man, I think of going back to childhood, to children days. Um, how do you see that? How do you see the role? Well, the family is very important, and the role of men are important. Do you all address men in this dilemma that we face? Because most of the violence comes from men, one may say. Some women too, but I would believe that there must be some form of communication or program that can be addressed to these people. Anyone?
Okay, so I will go first and then Dr. D. Okay, but the idea behind the walk is to bring awareness and to the issues that are faced by women and girls.
Right.
And in this, we have not left out the men. Men are very much engaged and involved. We have invited, I could say we've invited Defense Force, for example.
Right.
The level of participation, not sure, but yes, they have been invited. We have communicated with a number of male organizations. It's a guy who is going to be coming to do a demonstration on defensive actions for women. So he's a martial arts person, and he's going to do a brief martial arts demonstration at the end of the walk. So yes, we engage the men and let them know. So the walk is not only for women and girls, it's for men as well, because a walk sensitizes, it brings awareness of the issues to everyone.
Yeah.
So Dr. D.
No, I completely agree with what Ms. Phillips Spencer said. In addition to that, I think it's important to understand that as much as the focus of the walk is drawing attention to this particular group of people, women and girls that have experienced domestic violence, it's important to understand that as a community, men are part of that community. They must be involved for us to change that.
Right.
So the participation of men is important and is necessary. The advocacy for men is important and necessary. And it's not an exclusive event. It is an inclusive event. And our focus at this particular event is really to focus on drawing attention. But later on, we are very much open, I think, to welcoming other initiatives where we can actually expand this conversation and make sure that we're really bringing an impact and drawing the right attention and change to this issue.
Right. Now, when the walk is the date and so on for the walk?
The date is going to be November 30th at 10 a.m. wherever you are. So if you're in the US, it's going to be 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right. If you are in Trinidad and Tobago, it's going to be 10 a.m. Trinidad time. It's an hour behind us at this point in time. No, hour ahead of us time.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So it's going to be 10 a.m. November 30th. All right. Make sure that you want to bulk up for those guys that are in cold areas. You may want to wear an extra, a little bit of protection for the cold weather. We do have on the website hoodies as well that will allow you to be nice and warm as you're walking in community with us. And we're really hoping to see everyone there to support this cause.
And what is the website?
The website is wraptt.org. WRAPPTT.org.
WRAPPTT.org.
Yes.
All right. Well, yeah. No, I just wanted to further because
it's 1P. Okay, it's WRAPTT.
Oh, apologies. Yes, WRAPTT.org.
Yes.
I'm still going back to the question of training young people, young fellows, because when I was a kid, I remember a guy would just hit a girl. And and now that as we are adults, we see where that thing perhaps could have come from.
Yes.
Do you encourage families to address such behaviors?
I'm not sure that we're quite there yet in terms of expanding the messaging to that. Again, the real goal of this walk is we're really at the beginning of the conversation, and there's so much more of the conversation to be had, right? And yes, there's a lot of great conversation we can have about what our cultural norms are, what you grew up with, what I grew up with, what we see as violent, you get a little lash and it's not a big deal. And what we now see as like, oh, maybe that was something harmful. There's lots more conversation that we can have to explore what those cultural nuances are and how it has changed over time to mean something different and to understand it as something different. But at this stage of the game, we are really talking about, are you even aware that there's an issue? Are you even aware that there's a domestic violence surge since the pandemic in Trinidad and Tobago? Let's start focusing our attention on this. Let's get support for the people that have been harmed by this. And I think we are very excited to explore all of the ways that we can continue to have this conversation in terms of how it affects families, how it affects young girls, young boys as well, because these are the ones that are seeing these examples and now going into places and spaces where they feel that they can emulate the behavior that they've seen or continue to do things that are cultural norm for them. And that's where we can start really expanding the conversation into looking at how we can even more effectively get into changed behavior, because that's what it's about.
Yes.
All right. Anything to add, Dr. Mrs. Spencer?
Well, RAPTT's engagement in mentorship and education and other aspects of RAPTT's engagement at different times will bring to the fore different things or challenges or things that we should really be engaged in to help transform or change ways of thinking and deliver change in our society to help impact some of those things. And some of the things that we've started doing a lot via our education pillar, for example, and the reach that we are making in one of the at-risk schools in Trinidad and Tobago. So you start and you build. So the more you're able to do in areas like that, in the teaching, in the school, by educating, you begin to chip away at, as Dr. D was saying, the different cultural nuances that you may want to change, things that people may see as okay, but really not okay, because they grow and develop into bad and, unacceptable practices. And so by doing some of the things that RAPTT has been engaged in, it's a slow chip away at those things. So this year we're only walking, but in the past, like last year, we had different conversations with women who were abused. We spoke with, like, she's a psychologist, a doctor in the area dealing with those issues. So we've had conversations as well, talking and sharing. But this year we are dealing mainly with just bringing further awareness to the issues, so people will investigate for themselves some more. Okay, so that's, it's a slow chip away at those issues and challenges.
Chip like a little carnival chip.
That's correct.
A
But
little
you get there.
little carnival chip. Also, to add to that, you cannot change what you don't recognize. You cannot change what you do not identify. And there are many people who are still very much at that beginning stage of like, oh, she just get a little lashes, all right. She just making a big deal about it and not really understanding the impact of the experiences of these women on their lives, on their children's lives, on their productivity, their mental health, their physical health.
Yes.
And this walk is really that really important first step of there is a problem. We need to talk about it, and it's really going to hopefully open the door for us to have further conversations.
Here in Washington, D.C., will there be a walk in Washington, D.C.? And
Yes, absolutely, there will. We will be meeting at Roosevelt Island, and it's an important location because Theodore Roosevelt has done a lot of work in women's suffrage. So we thought it was a very important location that was really fitting to the point and the whole goal of this elimination of violence walk. So we'll be meeting there at 10 a.m. Come nice and bundled up and wrapped up. I know I will be. All right. And we're hoping to see many people there coming out to support. Again, if you're not able to purchase a t-shirt or a hoodie, we would love for you to donate something and just come on out and walk with us.
Walk. So I can give some of the locations. I pulled it up. So the Theodore Roosevelt Island in Washington, D.C., California is the Edward Vincent Jr. Park. They said the Centennial Park, 700 Warren Lane, Inglewood, California. New York, it's Prospect Park. Entrance at the corner of Parkside Avenue and Ocean Avenue. And Trinidad and Tobago, we do Queens Park, Savannah, opposite TGI Friday. And Texas, S.J. Stovall Park, 2800 West Sublet Road, Arlington, Texas. But all of this information is on raptt.org on the website. So they can go there and view it for themselves.
All right. Listen, ladies, thank you so much for sharing with me. It's very important information, and I'm grateful that you have come and you have done it here on Caribbeana. All right, Dr. D and Mrs. Joanne Phillips Spencer. Give my regards to Ambassador Spencer.
I will. I certainly will. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye. This is Ron Martin. Caribbeana continues. Remember the walk or rap TT.